May Elohiym bless you guys. On May 12th, 2021, I had a dream that I must share. In this particular dream, as you guys can see the picture, you guys can get an idea of what was being shown to me. In the dream, I remember, guys, that I appeared in the city. And there was many people. Many people here. The people that I was with, we were cast out of the city, like kicked out. And I understood that we were a people with powers. And to me, as I continue to meditate on it, it makes a lot of sense now why I am being shown as seeing people with abilities with power, because it's not us, it's the Father working through us with a mighty, with mighty works. And the people in this area, they basically kicked us out. Like, I just remember that we were not wanted, and the people cast out all the people with powers, basically people that the Father was using. They did not want any of them with them. It was very, like, when I mean, guys, like a severe separation, with the feeling of someone basically like you were on the unwanted list, and the feeling of like you're not allowed in here, the feeling of severe rejection, the feeling of severe separation was completely evident. It was not hidden. It was very clear, and it was out. It was very clear of the separation that has occurred. After this separation has occurred, and the people with powers has been separating from the people, I remember that when all the people with power were gathered in one area, because we were separated, pulled away, I remember that suddenly chaos started to happen in the city. Screaming and yelling, and people were terrified. Just a lot of horror started to occur right after we were separated. We were pulled away, but in this dream, it felt more like the people themselves didn't want us, any of the people that had powers. Again, I see it as the mighty work of the Father working through us. When I'm hearing the screaming and the yelling and like people needing help, after I heard this, I saw someone running away from something. And I'm seeing this young man running. He's running so quick with fear in his face. He's running. And I see this. Think of me now like I'm in between buildings where I can see, you know how in the city the buildings are very close to each other. Sometimes you just don't have a good space, and it kind of creates like a little alleyway. Well, consider something like that, but make the alleyway a little wider. But you are basically wall to wall, and you're trying to, so I'm seeing this boy running in between these alley trying to run away from something. I just suddenly just appear and I'm seeing this boy running. And then when I see what he's running away from, it looked like this. I see this enormous giant, looks like a human being, literally has the feature of a human, but was not a human. This thing, I could see that it felt very like, in me, I knew it was not human. I knew that it was a giant, but I knew that it's, you know how when, as humans, we know that a human being has certain, all these characteristics that describes a human being, right? Well, with the giant, it's like, it was more like they were evil. Like their list category was evil, corruption. It was destructive. It was their food. Like the food list was humans. It was. You see what I'm saying? It's like, as I see this, I'm understanding its character, understanding what it eats, understanding its behavior. This thing was running after this young boy, and running not just this boy, running after any human being. And I knew that it wanted to not only kill it, smash it. It was like, basically, it was looking at us like if we were bugs, like if we were just insect. Okay. I knew that if it had a hold on you, it would probably eat you or kill you. There was no either or. This thing looked like it was like someone just unleashed it, and it was filled with like, you know, when someone is if you're holding something on a leash for so long, is building up so much momentum. Well, think of a giant building up a lot of momentum. You know, like it was been caged up for so long and it's been let loose and is out. It's just now just destructive and running and going chaotic. People were running, screaming, "Here, giants, giants, giants!" It's what I'm hearing. Run, run! Mind you, the people they found themselves surprised by all this because they were not prepared. They were still wearing the usual regular day outfits. You know, when you're preparing for something, like if you're preparing for war, you will look like you're ready for war. You will have the appearance of that. These people didn't have no appearance of this. They looked like they were surprised by something like this they were not ready for. Now they're running for their lives. They're running, they're screaming, they're yelling. I hear a man that is somehow, he is like worried about his wife. Then suddenly I appeared near a home and I see a woman and 2 children. I go in the house. Mind you, nobody's caring if you're going into the house anymore at this moment. Nobody's telling you don't come to my house. If you were human, they were all right with you, pretty much, because their battle was this giant. People were so fearful, they were not thinking. They could not process anything. They could not think anything. When I saw this woman, she was in panic mode, screaming. She had the little one on her side, on her right side. She was holding the other one with her other hand, and she was just running in circles in her house. Literally, someone running in circles, and you think, what are you doing? She's just running in circles. But because she was so frantic, she was so scared, and then having the girl screaming in her ears, crying, the woman was completely paralyzed with fear, pretty much, not knowing what to do. I remember I appeared and I pretty much was telling her, control yourself, because the more noise that she was making, it was not helping her. She was going to attract attention by the giants. I remember that she tried to go up the stairs. She had this huge house, and I remember that she started to run up the stairs with the girls, and I said, no, you can't go up the stairs. We need to go down, and we have to find a hiding place. You cannot go up because they can tear off, the giants can tear easily off the ceiling of the houses like nothing, like paper. You know, you need to go below. And I remember that she was just so frantic, and the girls were just crying and crying and screaming and yelling, you know. And I remember saying to the little ones, I was like, okay, remember, like, you know, it's what's happening, because they were so frantic. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. I was like that, trying to give them, make them understand what's happening. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. We gotta be like Cinderella now, okay? We gotta be like Cinderella. We gotta be quiet. And I was kind of like that, giving the little girls something to help them understand what's happening. And then when I started talking about Jack and the Beanstalk, they started to calm down. And I said, okay, we gotta be like Cinderella now. We gotta be quiet. And I remember that after we were going down the stairs and trying to find a place, I didn't even know where to go. There was no way to hide. There was nowhere to hide, and that's in where she was. And I remember that we stepped outside really quickly. We stepped outside because I figured maybe if we go outside, find like a bush. I was thinking maybe if we go out somewhere where we can hide and camouflage, it will be easier than being inside of a house. It's much more obvious that there could be possibly a human in that house. So when we're finally outside, this is what I'm seeing, guys. Let me show you. People are hiding in the bush like this. People are hiding literally like this, inside the bushes, hiding, because hiding in the houses and stuff, what's not safe. When I saw this and the woman wanted to hide in bushes, I said to her, no. Let's not do this, because I saw so many of them doing that already. I said, no. Easy picking, like picking the grapefruit from a tree, or grabbing the whole tree and just eating from it. You know, I said no. We ended up going back towards the house, walking, and then this other man appeared. And when I saw this guy, I looked at him. I looked at his eyes, and his eyes were, think of it like you can see lights, like the light is illuminating, but his outside was not illuminating. Inside, through his eyes, you can see light illuminating. And I remember that this stranger, he goes and he says, he basically wanted to help. He wanted to help also, and he said something like, this is what he said that I ended up waking up. He said, we are souljourners. That right there kind of puzzled me, because he was describing us, me and, you know, him and I as souljourners. And he was like, I'm here to help. And then when he got there, he basically started to find ideas of the solution, you know. And it was weird, because I ended up waking up when he said that phrase. That right there, it's like I paused thinking of that, like souljourners, and then I woke up from that moment. That was a dream that I had, guys, in regards to giants. And I ended up getting a mini confirmation of sharing this dream, because my little one was weird how there was one moment he just pretty much blurts it out, like out of the blue. he sees a leaf, like a leaf growing, and he just simply says, "Mommy, Jack and the Beanstalk." Right there, I see that I have to share this with you guys. That was a confirmation for me right there, that I had to share this dream with you guys. In regards to giants, definitely it's a puzzle piece, but it's very clear in many ways. In the beginning, like I said, I saw how there was a huge separation, and in the dream it was shown to me as people with powers were cast out, were pulled away from the other people that did not want them. The people did not want to have anyone that had abilities. But again, as I continue to meditate on abilities, I'm starting to see that is again the mighty works of the Father working through them, and the people rejecting truth, rejecting the word, and not wanting to hear, not wanting to listen, because they want to continue on their own man-made doctrine, their own tradition, do not want to change. But then after the separation occurs and the people with abilities, the people with power has been separated, suddenly it's like everything breaks loose and chaos and destruction starts to happen in the city. I'm not sure around the world, but in this dream, it's like in this particular city. That's when I started to see all this destruction and the screams and the yelling and the terror, severe terror in people's voices, and how these giants literally look like human beings, but their character was pure evil. Nothing good was inside of them. They were pure evil, destructive. Their food on the list was human was on the list as their food source, as what they eat. They looked at the human beings as ants, as food, as nothing. They were running after them. And when they would take a step, literally it's like a human being needed to take so many steps to reach one big step of a giant's step. So running from this, it took a lot of energy for a human being, because they were literally like grasshoppers, because they were so big. They were huge. Remember, guys, David and Goliath. Goliath was a giant back in those days, and there were so many of them. And again, we need to make sure that we're seeking the Father. We're following His ways, doing His will. So many things will be occurring like a domino effect, one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. But we must make sure that we are in the ark, that we are in the ark, that our eyes are in the heavens and not focusing on anything on this world, but trying to learn the Father's ways, learn His ways and apply it in our life. Learning His ways and applying it in our life. And the only way to do that is grabbing the Bible, reading it, seeking out for truth, praying and seeking out for truth, and applying it in our lives. May Yahuwah bless you. Shalom.